The end of the world is often misunderstood. We imagine noise, we imagine chaos, we imagine a final moment everyone agrees on. But history has never ended that way. History ends when participation disappears, when people stop showing up for each other. The world didn't break, it stepped back quietly. Markets still opened, cities stayed lit, screens kept glowing, but something essential began to retreat. Care, responsibility, presence. We didn't lose connection, we lost commitment, and there is a difference. In previous times, a community was a necessity. You survived together, or you didn't survive at all. Now, survival feels individual, and that illusion is the foundation of the final age. The apocalypse is not destruction. It is withdrawal, the slow pulling back of human obligation. We learned how to say, "That's unfortunate," instead of, "That's mine to respond to." We learned empathy as emotion, but responsibility as inconvenience. And inconvenience is something modern life avoids at all costs. When responsibility retreats, systems replace it. When systems fail, no one feels personally accountable. That's how collapse becomes normalized. The world today doesn't feel evil, it feels distant. And distance is how decay hides. People are not cruel, they are distracted. But distraction sustained long enough becomes abandonment. Every era before collapse shared one symptom. People stopped believing their small actions mattered. They waited for structures, authorities, movements. They waited upward. But salvation never begins at the top. It begins in proximity, in what you do when no one is watching, in whether you step forward or step back. In earlier episodes, we spoke about responsibility returning, about simple acts, about feeding, caring, noticing. This episode goes deeper, because responsibility is not just action, it is presence. Presence means staying when withdrawal feels easier, listening when silence is safer, carrying weight that isn't technically yours. The world doesn't need more awareness, it needs endurance. People who don't leave when it gets uncomfortable. This is why the final age is described as cold, not because of temperature, but because warmth requires closeness, and closeness requires effort. God does not disappear in times like these. God waits, not passively, but attentively, watching to see whether humanity will remain present for itself. Divine mercy has always followed human alignment, not perfection, alignment. When people remain present in a withdrawing world, they become anchors, and anchors slow collapse. But anchors are heavy. They feel unseen, uncelebrated, exhausting, which is why so few choose to be one. The final era is not defined by how many fall away. It is defined by how many remain. This is where the promise of a Savior enters the story, not as escape, but as completion. The Savior does not come to replace responsibility. He comes because responsibility was preserved by the few, because someone stayed awake, because someone didn't withdraw. False saviors promise relief without cost. True salvation arrives after endurance. This is why waiting is a spiritual act, not passive waiting, active presence. To wait in the final age means refusing to disappear. It means choosing to stay human when humanity feels optional. The world did not end, it thinned, and what remains will determine what comes next. If enough people withdraw, history closes quietly. If enough people remain present, history turns. And that is why this moment matters, not globally, personally, because the end does not begin with the masses. It begins with the individual decision to stay. Stay responsible. Stay connected. Stay human. That decision is louder than chaos and visible to heaven. When the world withdraws, those who remain prepare the ground, and on prepared ground, salvation arrives. This is not the end, it is the narrowing, and what passes through will shape the age to come.